So for our last question of the interview is, what is your favorite movie and why? And if just picking one is too difficult, you can do three, but I still need to know why.
Okay, Stephen, this is the hardest question that you've asked at all, and I used to be a movie reviewer and television reviewer for all weekly newspapers in college and in graduate school. I'm going to list 10 or 11. Some of them are there because I really like them and because they were important to the genre or something else they changed. Lord of the Rings, Casablanca, Star Wars, and I'm going to say the first one, and you'll know what I mean.
Right.
Patton, Citizen Kane, Iron Man, the first one, that that really kept the superhero genre alive.
It gave it a rebirth, and it was a good movie.
Honor Majesty's Secret Service, which is an odd choice out of all the James Bond films, but it had Diana Rigg in it. It also had James Bond as a vulnerable character with real emotions. And it had ski chases and helicopter assaults on an alpine fortress, and oh my god, the greatest music ever in that score. It was so good that they reused it for the last James Bond movie. A lot of that movie music is reprises from Honor Majesty's Secret Service. Any Kenneth Branagh Shakespeare movie, especially Henry V. Loved it.
What did you think of his Frankenstein?
It was good. Of course,
it was.
Shakespeare, it's a different thing. Frankenstein's been done so many ways and so many times, and it's important. It was a great achievement in women's writing and fantasy and science fiction itself, because it broke into both those genres. The Maltese Falcon, The Magnificent Seven, and The Seven Samurai, really the same plot, but two equally wonderful movies. And El Dorado, the movie John Ford liked so much he made it twice. I mean, John Wayne, Robert Mitchum, Ed Asner, it's just an amazing cast, lots of fun. I have used the last couple in my Boot Hill scenarios a lot. So
you really are a film aficionado.
Oh, yes. Mostly, I'm not going to go to a movie if I don't think I'm going to like it. I mean, I'm paying for the movie. I want to go see movies I like. And a long time ago, I mean, writing as a critic, you kind of learn to separate. A book is not a movie, is not a television show. I've had some acting theater experience as well. You've got different genres. Each one has strengths and a storytelling style that works best for it. It's why Dune was so difficult to do as a movie, because so much of it was people thinking about what other people were thinking and saying, and is this the truth or are they lying to me? And that, that's not riveting.
Now that you mentioned that, I do want to put in a plug in defense of David Lynch. I think he did an excellent job adapting incredibly difficult subject matter. And a lot of people panned it, but a lot of people don't understand how weird the material is. And I don't think the new Dune could have been as good as it was had David Lynch not done what he did. But please.
No, Sting will always be my Fade-Roitha. So, yeah.
Yes.
So I enjoyed a lot of things that other people like to jump on and pan, because I will say it's not the book, it's not the source material, but it's taking me back to that world which I enjoyed. And for the medium that it is doing a wonderful job of telling me an adventure in that medium. So I'm okay with Rings of Power. I'm okay with Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, because if he hadn't done that, who knows whether it would have been possible for Peter Jackson to do his.
Yeah, Bakshi had a unique vision, and what he showed the audience is still compelling to this day. His Nazgul are haunting. Yeah. And I wish he had gotten to do the second half of what he planned to do, because I still enjoy the first one.
Me too. Me too.
So what is the movie you've seen the most? Like you've watched it the most times? How about that?
I'm going to say that probably Fellowship of the Ring has overtaken a couple. That one was on my list, Patton. Another one, which wasn't on my list, but I saw it a lot, was Cabaret. I was hanging with a theater crowd, and when it came out, we were studying it and taking notes of the nuances of the performance. And you didn't have videotape then; you had to go back and see it again in a movie. So
Yeah.
we were taking theatrical notes on the incredible acting performances there. So
Yeah, and Cabaret, that's one I hadn't seen until about the past 6 years, but I saw a live performance in Manchester. They have a great live theater. Manchester, New Hampshire does. Great crew that comes through there. And once the tone shifts in that story, boy, it goes straight into the ground. It gets as dark as it can get. I was very impressed with it. So me and my wife were big fans of theater and art, all that stuff. So that's neat.
I mean, you really can't beat Joel Grey and Liza Minnelli, but as like you say, it's a light show. And then when that bright young boy starts singing in the clear voice, "Tomorrow Belongs to Me," if that doesn't send a chill down your spine, something's wrong.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Fellowship of the Ring. And that one, I love all three of the films that Jackson made for Lord of the Rings. And honestly, I couldn't get into the books because they broke into song every other page. And then Tom Bombadil just deflated the threat. And I was like, what is this? I made it through the first book and I was done. But Jackson took the source material and I think made it a masterpiece. But that first movie, it hit on like psychological levels too. Like it could be used as a parable for addiction. And it just hit hard in every scene that it dealt with. I absolutely love it. So I dig that you picked that one.
Right. Very good. Very good. And the reason I've seen that more than the others in the trilogy and in The Hobbit is simply that as I'm flipping through television, if it's on, I leave it on that channel. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, the movies that I've seen the most, I don't know which one takes the lead, so I have to go with two. The Terry Gilliam's Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which until The Man Who Killed Don Quixote came out was my favorite movie of all time. Now, we'll see what time says, if it's still Baron Munchausen or if it's The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Both good.
But the second movie I've seen the most is Rocky Horror Picture Show, because for such a disastrous hot mess of a movie, it shouldn't work, but it does. And I love it.
That may really be my number one in number of times I've seen at least parts of it, just because of the conventions that I've been to, so but I hadn't thought of it as a separate movie. So yeah.
Oh wow. I got in your head just a little bit, like
I
feel this
did.
guy. We got something here. That's awesome, man.